I don't want to spend a third round pick on a kicker. I just do not. I understand that we have three. Let me throw up the picks that we have there just so you can kind of see what they have. The 49ers do have three third round picks. Now, and again, like I will be blatantly honest, I have not done any kicker research whatsoever to this point. And as soon as the Robbie Gold news came out, I was just like, oh no, I have to evaluate kickers this year, which I probably should have anyway. Um, but yeah, so that's what we got to do now. That's what we got to do. So I'm just going to let you know I have not done it. I do understand that there are lots of kickers out there this year. Jake Moody of the Wolverines is a big one. Again, I've not watched any of these guys. Maryland's got Ryland, and the top graded on several sites is Anders Carlson, who's a senior from Auburn. I think he's Auburn. It says the Tigers next to his thing. Yeah, it's Auburn. So there's lots of guys out there. I will be going through kicker write ups, which is hilarious to me. But no, I would not take a kicker in the third round. That's just no. You guys were there for me that have been around for a while. You guys were there. I was at the Nashville draft when they spent a fourth round pick on Mitch Wisnowski, and Mitch has gotten much better. His first 2 years was not a fan. Third year got good. Fourth year got great. Signed him to an extension. I hope that continues. But still, that was not worth it. You got 3 years of subpar punter performance and spent a fourth round pick. It's just not how I see the value of picks. But that's okay if you do. Disagreements are great. I'm not spending a third round pick on a kicker. Just not. It's just unless they were amazing. No. Now, what I want the 49ers to do, and let's preface this just a little bit. Let's back this up with, let's corral this whole discussion correctly. Robbie Gold, it leaked out yesterday that he is going to be testing free agency. And even though he enjoyed his time in San Francisco, he would like to go elsewhere. This is not new. When Robbie Gold's contract ended 3 years ago, he wanted out and he made it very publicly known he does not want to stay in San Francisco. He wanted to go home, Chicago, kick for the Bears, be by his family and his kids. No issues with that. Like, I have no problem with that whatsoever. The 49ers franchise tagged him to keep him here. Not, I mean, that's part of the NFLPA and the rules that they have agreed to in this collective bargaining agreement. And so he signed an extension. He got a 2-year, $7.2 million deal, whatever else. Let him go, man. He's done his bit. And he's getting older and he's great. And I wish Robbie Gold was coming back. If Robbie Gold wanted to be here, I would sign him. $4 million, whatever. Last year he got 3.6 million. $4 million, get the deal done, bring him back. He's that good. Hasn't missed a kick in the playoffs his entire career. Having said that, there's two sides to every coin. The limitations of Robbie Gold is he can't kick far. If you don't get to the 30-yard line as an offense, we're not attempting a field goal. That's it. 30 yards. That's it. And that is a gigantic limitation. I would argue Robbie Gold probably has the weakest, as far as distance goes, leg in the NFL at his age. Didn't used to be that way. And so you're missing the consistency from in close, 30 yards in, but you're going to be gaining a little bit more length, right? So now instead of getting to the 30, you can attempt from the 36, things like that. Now, you're going to miss out on consistency. We're going to have missed kicks. And there's not a lot of great kickers out there. If you're a good kicker, usually don't get let go. CG says sign Matt Gay. Yeah, I mean, kickers they're head cases, man. It's a whole different thing. It's a whole different thing. So I don't know. What I want them to do, I want them to bring in a veteran and I want them to bring in a rookie. And so if you spend, again, in the way that I see picks, okay, first and second rounders are immediate contributors. 49ers don't see it that way, but that's kind of the general logic, right? Immediate starting contributors. Third to fourth round, and I do put those two rounds usually together. Third to fourth round, okay, developmental starters. and then fifth, sixth, seventh round, and it gets, more exponential the rounds you go deep. Now it's time to swing for the fences. Now it's time you go for, once you get into, pick 200, these guys all have some serious flaws. That's why they've been passed over. Now it's time to be a little bit reckless. And what do I mean by that? Like, man, you go after somebody that has high upside but an injury history. You go after somebody that has elite traits but not a lot of playing time, things like that. And again, you want to go after a kicker in those rounds, that's cool. If they would have drafted Mitch Wisnowski in the 5th round, I wouldn't have liked it, but I would have been like, all right. And again, that's just the way in which I see the value of those picks. Well, again, you see at the bottom of the screen this year, 49ers have 3 third-round picks, but it's going to be like after pick 99. I almost see those as 4th-round guys. But again, the demarcation between 3rd and 4th-round picks for me, developmental starters. That's kind of how I see it. So I don't want to spend that pick on a kicker. But if they did, I understand the need. If there's a guy they fall in love with, all right, we'll see it. Now, one more thing that we have to keep in mind, Mitch Wisnowski lost his job as the kickoff guy because he can't kick it in the end zone for touchbacks. Robbie Gould, who, again, I just told you, has like the weakest leg of any kicker in the NFL, took his job as the kickoff guy a year ago. So most kickers in the NFL all do the field goal, PAT, and kickoff. So odds are one of those guys will be able to come in and, kind of take over that, whatever. So we'll see there. And yeah, the common name that keeps getting thrown around is Jake Moody. CG, I agree with you. And that's the one that I see the most. Eddie Pinheiro, Tommy, he was with our defensive coordinator, right? Steve Wilks. So there's a little bit of overlap there. Pinheiro, I don't do a lot of kicker breakdowns. And so I don't keep up with the kickers around. I do need to dive into this, but I'm going to spend all my time divulging the combine first. Once I finish the combine, then I'm going to get the draft book out there, version 1 for all the Patreon members. Then we will jump in to some of those things with, all the other craziness and kickers and free agency and all that stuff. But I want to get the draft stuff out there first so that you guys can have that.
The 49ers Rush Podcast.